All right, good afternoon and welcome everybody to the Go Wellness Practice Accelerator Challenge. This is your host of the day, Kate Archibald. Really excited to be with everybody. Hopefully, everyone's having an amazing January. Well, we got Dr. Dan Kellums and Reagan Archibald here with us to dive in today.
Yeah.
And so
Awesome.
let's dive in.
Awesome. Well, today we're gonna cover actually how to get all of your team members just psyched about what you're working on. And Dan, you've launched a lot of new projects and brought on different arms into your practice. But today what we're going to focus on is teamwork. And so I'd love to get your insights on how you built a great team over the years, what it was like when you were just Dan to the power of five. And and then also we're going to go through kind of one of my favorite books on management, which is No Ego by Cy Wakeman.
Nice.
Sound
I got
good?
that book. I need to read that. Yeah, absolutely. I'm down.
Awesome. Well, I've got here. I'll pull up my PowerPoint so you can. I'll give you the overview of the book.
Sweet.
So, Dan, tell us about what the difference has been in your life since you started building a team.
Well, I mean, I think the biggest thing is you can, especially if you have a good team, um, one, you can deliver way better quality of care than you could ever do on your own because the
Yep.
magnitude, I mean, plus when you have a good team, you're not, you pick everybody's brain, everybody's involved, right? So you'll you'll see things outside of the box, and like it's constantly peeling back your own skull cap, right? To kind of like take in new knowledge, but see things from a different perspective, but also deliver better quality care just because of the collaborative effort. To me, that's what the team is about. It's like that massive amount of collaboration, but then also um, you don't have to be the sole person pulling all the strings and spinning all the plates, and that allows more work to be accomplished, right? So not only can you deliver more care, but you're able to expand your knowledge and the breadth of um, understanding and care that you can get out there, right? It's like everything about it, the growth in your ability to provide care, but also your growth in the ability to level up your, uh, you know, the limits of the care and understanding that you have, right? It's been a twofold thing for me. Or more than that, it's weird. I'd say, it's really interesting to say, well, it hasn't been a linear progression, it's been a spherical progression because everything seems to kind of bloom out like that.
Yeah. Well, and the incredible thing about the way you started is it was just a Dan show, and you used to give us an office tour. And hey, this is Dan. He'll be reading your labs, and this is Dan, your acupuncturist. Oh, and let me introduce you to Dan, our case manager. He'll be taking your credit card today. And so you've done that, and then gone to a clinic that for the most part can function really well without you. And so, what's that been like as far as stress levels go when it's not just the Dan show?
Well, definitely, you get distribution of responsibility, which really helps. But I mean, I would never, I wouldn't paint it with rose glass saying there is no stress because you still have people to manage. You have responsibility to maintain their welfare. But I think it decreases a lot when you have people you can rely on, right?
Yeah.
Like our practitioners are just amazing. It's like um, we have Tara, and she's been the head of our medical, and she is um, she's like a central pillar. And then we've brought on other members as we've grown, and it's the same thing. It's like we have Andy now, and she's turned out to be super solid. But the more your core team is solid, the more you can build onto that, you'll find that you attract more solid people into your organization, and then you have more things that you can, let go of and let them take on. And what's really amazing about that is everybody causes a different flower to blossom, right? Everybody makes
Yeah.
things grow to a new level that you didn't even know was possible, because you're only, you have your own limitations, but everybody's going to take a project to a different level, so it's allowing the team. And I think one big part of that is also having the right people in the right place.
Yeah.
Because I've had team members over time that they're solid now, but when they were in the wrong position, they didn't blossom as much, right?
Yeah.
But and when you have them, you have the team, you have them in place. It's it's really awesome,
It's a
Then
good
you just
feeling.
deal with your own problems with relinquishing control.
Yeah, those problems don't go away easy. You
Yeah,
know, we sound like we want really good people on the team, and we're going to hand over all these jobs, but then the moment something doesn't go the way that you planned on it going, or when one person drops a ball, it's so easy to jump back in there. And so, and I
yeah,
think this will be kind of the crux of the conversation today, because I know a lot of our Go Wellness clients, their big ceiling is their ability to hire and bring on the right team. And then once they have the right team, we've seen people just get dismantled because they don't know how to lead and manage their team. And so this is what Cy Wakeman and her work. She's just a powerhouse. If you read the book No Ego, this is what she found. She found that in the workplace, and you'll see this statistic, it was something like 37% of the time in a work week, a 40-hour work week, was spent on gossip. And so she just, once she peeled that layer back, she realized, man, well, gossip is all built around the ego. And so let's dive into this just a little bit, because we might see the very thing that is keeping your teams from growing. Or if you're thinking about hiring, we'll put in some foundational structures first. We like the entrepreneurial operating system, EOS. That's just been amazing, running level 10 meetings, giving everybody the really a scorecard to make sure they're in the right seat. They've got the right capabilities. They're doing it for the right reasons. That's a big part of it. But if you look at this, Cy Wakeman's drama in the workplace, she found that in working to engage employees was only 8% of the time. Overcoming the resistance to change was 13% of the time. Working to get buy-in and alignment was 14% of the time. Increasing accountability was 23% of the time. And then addressing ego behaviors was 32% of the time. And so Kate, if you looked at your days, some of your days are filled with all these things of just managing drama, right? All of the BS. And how many of these things actually need to be in place in order for a company to operate? I mean, do we really need all these sources of drama?
No. No, we really don't. And it would be nice if we. It's always nice when you can flip the mindset and get people out of that drama uh, workplace.
Yeah. Yeah. And so this is something I'm going to ask each one of you like to really pay attention to. How many of you are dealing with these sources of drama day in and day out and feel like you're kind of trapped there? Because if we all ask the question, well, what's the best way to foster some incredible teamwork? Well, I can tell you the one thing that can kill a team faster than anything is it's that negative behavior. It's the person who is entitled. It's the person who is talking illy about the leadership, about the vision of the company. It's the person who really just they're not there for the right reason. And so that's the fastest way to kill teamwork. So today, let's talk about first of all, how we can build better teams so we can grow and help more people, especially as we're starting to bring in the accelerator programs. You guys are going to see some massive growth, but we just want to make sure that we're going through a little teamwork to get you ready for 2022, because what Cy Wakeman says is leaders can't motivate others. People make their own choices about motivation, accountability, commitment, and happiness. So first of all, Dan, you talked about like micromanaging. How do you just let people make their own choices?
That's a good question to ask me, because it's the one thing from the get-go I struggled the most with, especially having everybody take on different roles after me being everything was me, like we talked about in the beginning. And I'm sure everybody in here at some point, it was just them. Letting them, setting some parameters, and also understanding that, hey, they're going to do it their own way, and a different way doesn't mean it's the wrong way. You still want to say, it's just like having the accountability, setting expectations doesn't necessarily mean creating a bunch of boundaries. It's just saying, hey, this is what I want this to get to. This is what we need it to look like. For me, like, therapeutic approach for me was like, hey, here's a smaller project, and then moving into bigger projects. Um, but also just saying, communicating what your own expectations are, of saying, hey, this is what I envision, and this is the reason why. But I think that's one of the biggest things is, if people understand why, the why behind the need, they typically are going to make sure that piece is fulfilled. And then you have to be okay with the idea of it being different than what you had conceptualized that process unfolding.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I'm reading this great book by let's see, Ed Catmull. He's one of the founders of Pixar, and the book's called Creativity Inc. Definitely recommend you guys read that. But what he said is originally they said trust the process after Toy Story 1 was made. And then after they had a massive failure in producing Toy Story 2 and had to start over, they realized they needed to trust the people, because they were just trusting the process more than the people. And so I think it's really important to remember that to be a great leader, sometimes your systems, your processes, you want things to be a certain way, but remember, these are humans that are imperfect. If you want everything done perfectly, then that's what machines are for, ideally. So I like this, a leader's new role. This is the main role, is to help employees eliminate emotional waste by facilitating good mental processes. So, Kate, what would you say some ways are that at Go Wellness in our clinics, and how could our amazing clients here help create good mental processes so that their teams are eliminating emotional waste?
Man, that's a deep question, but I think the biggest thing is shifting the patient, or not the patients, but the team members' mindset to really being problem solving focused rather than problem identifying. So it's always easy to identify, like, oh, that's an issue, that's a problem. But really focusing on, okay, well, if it's that big of a problem, then, like, what's the solution to that?
Hey everybody, Reagan Archibald here. I hope you enjoyed the Go Wellness show and maybe learned a couple things you could apply to your practice. If you're a healthcare entrepreneur who wants to work in an academic think tank with like-minded humans who are just like you, looking to provide better service, better quality of care for your patients, reach us at info@gowellness.com, and we're happy to do a free practice analysis for you.